In the northern suburbs of Sydney, Australia, Adam Bushell has saved about 10 a month in waste collection fees since his local council swapped flat fees for a pay-as-you-throw system 4 years ago. While recycling is collected free of charge, microchipped bins for general waste are weighed, and households receive a monthly statement listing how much they threw out and what they owe. The new approach has changed the way Bushell thinks about household waste, not least when it comes to food. The pay-by-weight concept has made me very conscious of the amount of food that we waste and has really made me want to dispose of less, says Bushell, who runs an electrical services company. The personal financial cost definitely makes you think in a different way on what you discard. It makes it immediately, physically cost-effective to waste less. The system works thanks to several factors. First and foremost, a clear financial incentive and rules, says Graham Matthews, head of content at UK commercial waste management company, Business Waste. Residents know and understand that the less trash they produce, the less they will pay. The system adheres to the principle of polluter pays, meaning those who produce pollution should bear the costs of managing it. Weighed down by negative news. Our smart, bright, weekly newsletter is the uplift you've been looking for. Over the last 30 years, pay-as-you-throw waste systems have been gaining traction across the Netherlands, Germany, Ireland, Belgium, France, Italy, and Norway, as well as Taiwan, Japan, Canada, and the US. In the US, where over 7 towns and cities have implemented such programs, they have been praised as one of the most effective tools for encouraging residents to throw out less, in some cases reducing the amount of household trash by 30%, as the Bound Pollens, Associate Professor of Urban Policy and Planning at the City University of New York, has observed. Meanwhile, Professor Baum Polland's research on municipal food scrap programming in mid-sized cities across the US has found that pay-as-you-throw is the biggest predictor of whether or not a city would have a curbside composting program. In short, linking cost saving to waste reduction works when it comes to encouraging individual households to be more environmentally responsible and municipalities to be more innovators. IT comes down to neoclassical economics. The more you are asked to pay, the more you are willing to do to reduce the amount you pay, explains Professor Baum Pollens. We're taught financial motivation from an early age, and the research does indicate that, at first, this is how people are motivated, but then eventually it results in new habits. Some people now call it pay-as-you-waste, she adds, because they want to make it clear that you're paying for the garbage you produce rather than for a basic collection system. Bergen, Norway's second-largest city, has introduced perhaps one of the most sophisticated forms of waste management. In 2016, the typical model of truck collection of trash bags and cans on the sidewalk was replaced with a network of underground tunnels running beneath the city centre. Bergen's central residents are issued a key fob for opening collection hatches on the street. The fob keeps track of how many times an individual opens the hatch, with each household being allowed to use it 8 times a month for free to dispose of general waste, after which they must pay. Items to be recycled can be disposed of for free. In 2020, 6 years into the program, the city recorded a 9% decrease in residual waste and a 28% increase in collected plastics. Pay-as-you-throw waste systems such as Bergen's have been praised as one of the most effective tools for cutting household waste. Financial incentives are more powerful than your own conscience, but the magic happens when you can align financial incentives with sustainable choices, and that's when we will actually manage to change behavior the way we want, says Tyne Charlotte Home, Chief Operating Officer at Carrot, the software company behind Bergen's system. Carrot has now taken its pay-as-you-throw technology into office and retail buildings. Home says these kinds of locations have traditionally been notorious for not recycling or making efforts to reduce waste, in part due to previous flat fee structures with waste management companies, but also thanks to an attitude of, if my neighbour isn't doing it, why should I? Now, using data to create friendly competition among neighbours seems to be working. Westward Shopping Centre in central London, for example, has increased its mixed recycling volume by 47% and reduced general waste by more than 40% since introducing Carrot's system, which weighs and tracks each type of waste, determining how much the centre should pay a waste management company. It also reduced its waste collection bill by close to £2,000 per month after shopping centre management convinced fast food retailers to implement separated waste bins, increasing the amount customers are able to recycle. The retailers can log into the platform to see how much waste each individual business is generating, creating friendly competition and a further incentive to reduce their volumes. It's about rewarding those who recycle and keep waste down rather than punishing anyone. It's using positive reinforcement and showing people and businesses that your action matters, says Home. The next piece of the puzzle, she adds, is tracking the journey of the plastic collected to find out where it ends up. It hasn't all been good news. As Business Waste Matthews points out, South Norfolk County in the UK attempted to adopt a pay-as-you-throw system in 2012, but the scheme was scrapped after its initial trial period, despite the county having equipped each of its 12 garbage trucks with 34,000 worth of scanning technology. Much of the technology failed and caused issues with weighing the trash, leading to inaccurate readings, missed collections, and general confusion amongst residents, which resulted in a 250% surge of illegal waste dumping.